Hopefully you can't hear all that mess. I told them I'm trying to do something. They won't listen to me. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Found in the Wild I don't know. I fucking made it up. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and it's time to do another Found in the Wild video. Can you believe it? Because I had compiled a bunch of junk over the past week or two, and I figure that's enough stuff to make a video and say, look what I got, everybody, woo! So first up is this fancy Led Zeppelin hoodie that I got for $5 at the Goodwill. I'm not going to pass up a fancy Led Zeppelin hoodie for $5 at the Goodwill. Now, as per usual, the rest of the stuff is pretty much just movies. So let's start off with the thing I got. I stopped at the Dollar Tree on the way to the Goodwill, and sure enough, they did have a Blu-ray that I happened to need. And that's Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping with Andy Samberg and The Lonely Island. And this movie was kind of underwhelming for me because I'm a huge fan of Hot Rod. I think that might be one of the best comedies, if not like the best PG-13 comedy of all time. And then this one, it was okay. Maybe I need to watch it again, but it just... it didn't live up to my expectation of what it could have been, because The Lonely Island is some of the best, well, especially the stuff they do on Saturday Night Live. I don't know. But anyway, that's Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. And the next movie I got is a movie that I haven't seen yet, that everybody either seems to love or they seem to think that it's just a complete and utter waste of time. And that's A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski, Jim from The Office. Now, I don't think I could survive this horror movie. Maybe that's part of the reason I haven't watched it yet. Maybe it's because I'm afraid that I can't be quiet long enough to watch a movie with minimal dialogue, or everybody's got to be quiet all the time. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But one of these days, I'll sit down and I'll watch A Quiet Place. But until then, it's going to sit over here on the shelf. Oh, also, I feel like I should mention that I actually paid full price for A Quiet Place, which was $3. But then I went back the next day and got some stuff that I had hidden, and then even found some new stuff that I didn't have, such as Phantom Thread. It's only on DVD, but I figure, what the hell? All the critics talking about how amazing this movie is. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Daniel Day-Lewis, so maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. I don't know, but for $1.50, I'm willing to find out. And I could have swore I had these movies, but apparently I don't. But I have the third one, and that's The Expendables 3. Now, this is the one that they decided for some reason, which doesn't make any sense at all, to make these two rated R movies. Let's have the third one be rated PG-13. And then we'll have our best villain played by Mel Gibson, which I don't necessarily like Mel Gibson playing a villain, but he does a good job. And he was probably the best part about this movie. At least he's the only thing I remember about this movie. So, yeah, that's The Expendables 3. So apparently I still need to find the first two. I could have swore I had the first one or the second one, but I looked high and low, and I can't find it. What's also funny about The Expendables 3 being PG-13 is Die Hard 4 being PG-13. But I don't feel like it affected the movie's quality. I think this is a lot of fun. I'm not the biggest Die Hard fan. I really like the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and I really enjoy this one. And I'm not even necessarily sure if I've seen the second one. And if I have seen the second one, I haven't seen it since I was a little feller, so I don't remember anything about it. Apparently it's on a plane, but this one, I remember Timothy Olyphant. Is that how you say his name? Okay, it is Timothy Olyphant. Hopefully y'all don't mind my distortion. I'm trying to be creative. Anyway, that's Live Free or Die Hard, the PG-13 Die Hard movie. And then what's funny is they went back to being rated R, I think, for the fifth one, and I still didn't watch it because, you know, that Jai Courtney's in it, and I can't fucking stand that guy. I've never been the biggest James Bond fan. Maybe it's because I accidentally watched whichever one had Pierce Brosnan and Halle Berry first. That's probably not a very good one to start with. I remember there was some kind of surfing scene. It was like something straight out of a PlayStation 2 game, only PlayStation 2 hadn't been invented yet. So I bought Skyfall, which is supposedly the best of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, which if that's the case, I planned on watching all of them, and I almost bought Casino Royale today as well, but I didn't. I put it back because there was other stuff I needed to have even more. But yeah, I figure I'll give Skyfall a chance. I like Daniel Craig, and I figure I might as well try to dive into the James Bond movies. I like spy, espionage type stuff, so why wouldn't I like the James Bond movies? I have no idea why I've never gotten into the James Bond movies, but, I figure now's as good a time as any. And then I technically got this next item for the secretary, because I don't really like musicals, but I'm willing to give it a chance because I like Gerard Butler, and that is Phantom of the Opera. Now, I do remember one of the Phantoms of the Operas when I was a little feller. It wasn't the one that was a silent movie. It was one from like the 60s or the 70s, and I loved that movie. And I do like the story of the Phantom of the Opera because there's been several renditions. There was even one with Robert Englund. And so I like the story, so I figure even if it has musical numbers, maybe I'll still sit down and give it a chance. And then one of these days, who knows? Maybe I'll tell you people what my thoughts are on this version. What year is this even from? I don't know. I have no idea. So that was all the junk from the good. Here, let me move this light. There's a glare over there. Is it better? That's better. I feel like that's better, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm terrible at this. One of these days, I'll get better. So we're going to move on to the stuff that I got from half-price books for the money I got for the old jeans that I didn't need no more. Anyway, you don't need to know all that. The next thing is Ring You. Now, The Ring is one of my favorite horror films, especially if we're talking about PG-13 horror films. And, against my better judgment, I have never seen the original Ring You, which I'm one of those people that always looks down upon people that don't watch the originals before they watch the remakes. But here I am, a big fucking hypocrite. But anyway, Ring You. I can't wait to dive into this. I'm sure it's going to be just caked with atmosphere. A lot like the Japanese version of Pulse was that you saw in the last video. If you watched my last Found in the Wild video. Explain something that happened. All right, look, I had Coming to America. I had Big. I had Leon the Professional. I had Problem Child. But I put it all back because the last two items I'm going to show you made me have to put everything back because they were way out of my price range. And I was like, you know what? Even though I already have these, I need these that I already have more than those that I don't. Even though it's like, why don't I have Coming to America since it's one of the greatest comedies of all time? But anyway, don't worry about that. So one of these other things I found made me have to go and buy this. The complete Saw collection on Blu-ray. Maybe when I finally finish my Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise review and ranking, I'll move on to this franchise. You never know what I'm going to do here because I'm crazy. I just do what I want. So I got the Saw franchise, and I had never seen Jigsaw. I don't know what it was about the trailer, and I was like, the story's already come to a conclusion. We don't really need any more. But then I saw this absolutely gorgeous steelbook for $5.99, people. And I'm like, I'm not passing up a steelbook, let alone a Saw steelbook, for $5.99. And then bonus, now I can watch the movie, and I don't have to rent it off of Amazon for $5.99. Or however, maybe it's on Amazon, I don't know. But the point is, look at this artwork, and it's got this fancy Saw thing on the back. You open it up, it's a 2-disc. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. Like, who wouldn't want this? Even if you're not a Saw fan, you can't deny how beautiful that artwork is. A lot like the artwork on this next item's absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And, I have been so jealous of Devon Graham for the past who knows how long, because he thinks he's so cool because he's got all these fancy editions of everybody's favorite horror movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But look what I got, Devon Graham. Only problem is, I'm pretty sure when you opened yours, it had a fancy poster, and mine doesn't. So it makes me sad. But for some reason, even though it goes against my better judgment to spend $20 on anything, let alone a movie, I had to have it. Just the way it feels in your hand, and you just look at it. Even though I already have the 40th anniversary edition, the first one that came out, I now have this one. And eventually I will get the Black Maria. Hopefully it's still available by the time I have money. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. And the final item, Devon Graham probably doesn't have. So now you get to be jealous for once, motherfucker. And the final item, I know Devon Graham doesn't have. So finally, you get to be jealous for once, motherfucker. And that's it. The original TV miniseries, Steelbook, with one of the coolest Steelbook covers. I mean, I know it's just plain and simple Pennywise there on the cover. But it's just, it's just so glorious. It's glorious. And even better, the back cover is glorious. It's absolutely glorious. And then the inside is glorious. Absolutely glorious. And I technically bought this for the secretary, but I have the same relationship with the original It miniseries as she does, and I know a lot of other people do. Although the new one is decent, I don't think it lives up to this one. There's just some kind of charm to this one. Maybe it's got that 90s charm. I don't know. Maybe it's because it was filmed in the 90s, set in the 50s, and there's just something about movies set in the 50s that really jive with me. I don't know. But this is probably, without a doubt, my favorite Steelbook in the collection. Like, I thought this would have been when I saw this, but then I saw this, and I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Maybe one of these days, we'll go through the Steelbook collection. But there was a bunch of Steelbooks up there that I feel like I should have bought, but I didn't want to dive into my lunch money, because obviously I need my lunch money. Anyway, don't worry about any of that. Just worry about making sure you like the video if you've liked what you've seen here. Comment below. Let me know what you thought. Tell me about some of your favorite Steelbooks or some of the favorite movies you have, or what did you find this week? If you're one of those people that goes out and hunts for stuff in the wild, blah, 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 yada, 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 consider donating to my Patreon and follow me on these social medias to help me get better at this stuff. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. What's it to you? But until next time, we'll see ya. And be nice to people, because, you know, that's something you should do.